Welcome to the world of vintage fashion, an incredible experience that involves hunting for valuable vintage pieces. Vintage refers to clothing and accessories from an earlier era, typically from the 1920s to the 1980s. The appeal of vintage fashion lies in its uniqueness. Each piece has its own story, character, and charm, setting it apart from modern fast fashion. Before we get to the closet, let's understand the appeal of vintage fashion and how it can help you create a unique style statement that defines who you are. The allure of vintage fashion can be attributed to several factors, including its rich history, timeless design, and character. When you wear a vintage piece, you're essentially donning a piece of history, a snapshot of a time long gone, yet still very much alive in the essence of the clothing. This connection to the past is a powerful draw for many vintage enthusiasts, as it allows them to express their own identity and appreciation for the artistry of past generations. Vintage fashion remains popular today because of its timeless quality that surpasses modern fashion trends. The attention to detail and craftsmanship in creating these garments are unmatched, resulting in stylish and durable pieces. Lastly, the character and individuality of vintage pieces are undeniable. The chances of running into someone wearing the same vintage outfit as you are slim to none, making it the perfect way to stand out from the crowd and showcase your unique style. In a world where fast fashion dominates and everyone seems to be chasing the latest trends, it can be difficult to stand out and cultivate a style that truly reflects your personality. This is where vintage fashion comes to the rescue, providing endless opportunities to create a unique look that sets you apart from the masses. By embracing vintage fashion, you can experiment with various styles and design elements from different eras, allowing you to discover what truly resonates with your personal aesthetic. Vintage fashion offers diverse options to explore and incorporate into your wardrobe. Furthermore, vintage fashion allows you to mix and match different pieces to create unique combinations that showcase creativity and individuality. The possibilities are endless. Pair a 1940s blouse with a contemporary pencil skirt, or style a 1970s maxi dress with modern accessories. By incorporating vintage pieces into your outfits, you can create a unique style statement that turns heads and leaves a lasting impression. Embracing vintage fashion helps you create a distinctive style and has many other benefits. For one, vintage clothing is often more affordable than contemporary designer pieces, allowing you to build a stylish wardrobe without breaking the bank. Moreover, vintage garments are typically made with high-quality materials and expert craftsmanship, ensuring you invest in pieces that stand the test of time. Another significant advantage of vintage fashion is its sustainability factor. By choosing to wear vintage, you're reducing the demand for new clothing production, lessening the strain on the environment and the exploitation of natural resources. Additionally, vintage shopping encourages a more mindful approach to consumption, requiring you to consider each purchase and carefully value the items you own. Finally, vintage fashion is a fantastic way to express individuality and connect with like-minded individuals who share your passion for fashion and history. By wearing vintage, you're making a unique style statement and joining a community of fashion enthusiasts who appreciate the beauty and significance of garments from the past. Now that we've delved into the appeal of vintage fashion and its benefits, it's time to share some tips on how to find and buy the perfect vintage pieces for your wardrobe. First off, conduct thorough research. Before diving into vintage shopping, you must educate yourself about different eras, designers, and styles to make informed decisions and avoid purchasing counterfeits or low-quality items. Next, visit local vintage shops. These establishments are treasure troves for unique and affordable vintage finds. Take your time browsing the racks and don't be afraid to dig deep. You never know what gems you might uncover. If you prefer the digital route, shop online. While nothing beats the thrill of unearthing a vintage gem in person, online shopping platforms such as Etsy, eBay, and specialized vintage retailers offer a vast selection of items you can browse from the comfort of your home. Remember to inspect items carefully when shopping for vintage clothing. It's important to examine each piece for any signs of damage, such as stains, tears, or missing buttons. While some minor flaws can be repaired, others may not be worth the investment. It's also crucial to understand sizing. Vintage sizing can differ significantly from modern sizing, so always be sure to check the measurements of a garment and compare them to your own before making a purchase. Lastly, don't be afraid to negotiate. Many vintage sellers are open to bargaining, especially if you're purchasing multiple items. Be polite and respectful in your negotiations, and you might score a fantastic deal. Once you've acquired some vintage treasures, the next step is to incorporate them into your modern wardrobe. Here are some tips on how to seamlessly blend vintage and contemporary pieces for a truly unique style statement. Start with statement pieces. Vintage garments often feature bold patterns, unique cuts, and eye-catching details that can serve as the focal point of your outfit. Pair these statement pieces with more understated contemporary items to create a balanced and stylish ensemble. Mix and match different eras. Don't be afraid to experiment with combining vintage pieces from different decades. Mixing and matching various styles can produce a fresh, unexpected look showcasing your creative flair. Accessorize, accessorize, accessorize. Vintage accessories are a fantastic way to add a touch of vintage charm to your outfits without committing to an entire head-to-toe vintage look. Think statement jewelry, silk scarves, and classic handbags. Customize and tailor. Don't be afraid to alter vintage clothing to suit your personal style and fit preferences better. A nip here and a tuck there can transform a dated piece into a modern masterpiece. To further fuel your passion for vintage fashion, here are some online resources that offer valuable information, inspiration, and shopping opportunities. Vintage fashion blogs. Websites such as The Dressed Aesthetic, Vintage Retro, and Sammy Davis Vintage offer a wealth of information on vintage fashion history, styling tips, and shopping guides. Social media. Platforms like Instagram and Pinterest are fantastic sources of inspiration, allowing you to discover and follow fellow vintage enthusiasts, retailers, and influencers. Online vintage retailers. As mentioned earlier, websites like Etsy, eBay, and specialized vintage shops offer a wide range of vintage clothing and accessories that can be purchased from the comfort of your home. You can also check out Dora Maar, vintage fashion forums. Joining online forums and discussion groups can provide a supportive community of fellow vintage lovers who can offer advice, recommendations, and camaraderie. In conclusion, vintage fashion is key to unlocking a unique style statement that reflects your personality and individuality. By embracing the timeless appeal of vintage garments and incorporating them into your modern wardrobe, you'll stand out from the crowd and enjoy the myriad benefits of choosing a more sustainable and conscious approach to fashion. So, go forth and explore the world of vintage fashion. Immerse yourself in its rich history, revel in its unparalleled craftsmanship, and most importantly, have fun expressing your one-of-a-kind style. Happy vintage hunting!